Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Shama, and we're coming out with another guide on the Elemental Shaman for patch 7.1. This is going to be covering your burst rotation for all three different types of specs, including the Ice Fury spec, your Lightning Rod spec, and your Ascendance spec. So, keeping in mind that the changes that we have here that came in for 7.1, your Earth Shock and your Frost Shock were buffed by 15%, so that's pretty nice. But this video kind of revolves around the changes that were to Stormkeeper, which involves the 1.5 second cast time that it now has, and the 3 Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning instant casts that follow after that cast time. So our first opener that we're going to be talking about is your Ascendance Opener. Now, some things you need to keep in mind regarding this is Stormkeeper, the actual aura that it generates on your character after you cast it, lasts 15 seconds. So after you cast Stormkeeper, you have 15 seconds to get those 3 instant cast Chain Lightnings or Lightning Bolts out. Your Ascendance is also 15 seconds long. So, the opener that I've come up with here that I find is a lot of min-maxing and just generates a little bit more damage out overall and during your burst phase is you're actually using the Lightning Bolts while you're in Ascendance. So the way your setup is gonna look like 3 seconds before the pull, 3 to 2 seconds before the pull, you're gonna pop your Fire Elemental, you're gonna pre-pot, then you're gonna pre-cast Stormkeeper. When you guys pull, after your pre-cast of Stormkeeper, you're gonna Flame Shock the target, you're gonna pop your Lust, you're gonna Lava Burst, and then you're gonna pop your Ascendance and your Elemental Mastery, macro those two together, and then you're just gonna go to town on Lava Burst. But when you see your Power of the Maelstrom buff activate, and I have a weak aura that shows me when it activates, and I'll put the paste bin to my weak auras down in the description below so you guys can copy that if you want. Really great setup of weak auras that I have here. During your Ascendance, your Stormkeeper is going to be activated, so you'll have those 3 Lightning Bolts on, like those 3 charges of Lightning Bolts instant cast on your character, right? So when your Power of the Maelstrom aura procs, use those 3 Lightning Bolts back to back, and then go back to spamming your Lava Bursts. And again, use your Earth Shock at 100 Maelstrom. My other videos that I put out for my 7.0.3 guides, those videos are still relevant. Most of the information that's on those videos is very well relevant, so I recommend going and checking those out as well, and just filling in the spaces for the changes that happened in your opening sequences with your Stormkeeper and stuff like that. So let's kind of show you guys how the first Ascendance opener is going to look like. So as I said, 3 to 2 seconds before the pull, you're going to pop your Fire Elemental, you're going to pre-pot, you're going to pre-cast Stormkeeper, then you're going to Flame Shock, you're going to pop your Lust, you're going to use your Lava Burst, and then Ascendance. When your Power of the Maelstrom comes up, you're going to use those 3 Lightning Bolts, continue using Lava Burst, Earth Shock at 100 Maelstrom, and then spam your Lava Burst until your normal rotation comes around. So let's show you guys what that's going to look like. So I'm going to summon my Fire Elemental, my Pre-Pot, my Stormkeeper, this, Lust. There's your Earth Shock. So everything just went together there very smoothly. And there it is, guys. There's your opener for your Ascendance. Now I'm just going to continue doing this. I'm going to talk about it. This spec, honestly, it sims higher for me because of my relic. Which one is it? Lava Burst Relic. It's a very high relic. Lava Burst deals an increased damage. I have that one. So I'm going to be fiddling around with Ascendance, because with the Ascendance build, you're generating more Maelstrom, which means you're getting more Earth Shocks out. And due to the Earth Shock buff, I find that this spec is a little more... what's the word I'm looking for? It's definitely worth looking into. I recommend dabbing into it, seeing if it works for you, and checking that out. So let's talk about Ice Fury now. Let's talk about Ice Fury. The way Ice Fury is kind of set up is the fact that it's a very Maelstrom generated focused spec. So when you go into it, and I'm just going to move my bars around here. When you go into it, your rotation, your opener, that changes completely. Also, I recommend using Aftershock if you're going into Ice Fury. You don't necessarily have to, but if you don't go into Aftershock, the risk factor for your Ice Fury is very, very high. Now, talking about Ice Fury, I want to say that it's not optimal, but it's worth learning the rotation. That's why it's in this guide. It's worth learning the rotation in case in future patches and in future tweaks that Ice Fury becomes viable or becomes ahead of Primal Elementalist. You're going to want to know the rotation. You're going to want to know the opening sequence. You're going to want to know what is going to happen with this build so that you're ahead of everything else. You're not blindsided by some patch and you're just like, well, now I'm forced to pretty much learn a new rotation. You want to be ahead of that, okay? You don't want to be in that situation and then kind of be stuck. So let's talk about the way your Ice Fury opener looks. So with Stormkeeper and the changes to that, with the 3 instant casts, it pretty much helps you with Maelstrom generation quite a bit. And that's what this build is all about. Maelstrom generation and using your Maelstrom on your Frost Shock over your Earth Shock. Because 4 Frost Shocks are doing way more damage than 1 Earth Shock. Especially if they crit. It's insane. 2 Frost Shocks, if they crit, will do more damage than 1 Earth Shock if they crits. Keep that in mind. Alright, so talking about this, the way your opening sequence is going to look like, 3 to 2 seconds before the pull, you're going to use your Fire Elemental, you're going to pop your Deadly Grace, you're going to precast your Stormkeeper, you're going to Flame Shock the target, then you're going to Ice Fury and Lava Burst. Get those 3 Stormkeepers out, and then start using your Maelstrom on your Frost Shocks. So it's kind of like all over the place, this opening sequence. It's pretty spread out to what your damage is coming from. But I'm going to show you guys again how this is going to look. So I'm spec'd into Aftershock, so it's going to make Maelstrom generation a lot easier with that. And as well, a keynote, Totem Mastery, you generate 1 Maelstrom every second. So that really helps out with Ice Fury as well, with the Ice Fury spec. But let's show you guys how it's going to open up. And I'll go over the overview again real quick before we do it. So again, 3 to 2 seconds before the pull, pop your Fire Elemental, your Potion. You're going to precast Stormkeeper to a Flame Shock, your Ice Fury, then your Lava Burst, and then your 4 Frost Shocks, and then you're just going to cast your Lightning Bolts and Lava Burst off cooldown. We'll see how it looks now. So here goes the Fire Elemental, pre-pot, Stormkeeper, Flame Shock, Ice Fury, Lava Burst, 3 Stormkeepers, then your Frost Shocks. This type of opener does not bring a lot of burst to the table. It does not do all that. You know, you're generating a lot of Maelstrom, you're not doing a lot of burst. But you know what? It's a fun spec. It revolves around a lot more spread out rotation. And the sustain is pretty good. Alright. We're done with that one. Now we're going to talk about your lightning rod. The lightning rod opener is by far the most simplest opener ever. It's so easy. So damn easy. Okay. Going back here to the target. Going up here, we're going to talk about what it's going to look like. Super simple, by the way. You're only changing one thing with this opener. So you're going to drop down your Fire Elemental 3 to 2 seconds before the pull. You're going to pre-pot. You're going to pre-cast your Stormkeeper. Then you're going to Flame Shock. Then you're going to Lava Burst. And then cast those 3 Lightning Bolts. And then just do your rotation. That's it. That's the opener right there. It's so easy. Like, so simple. So let's show you guys what that's going to look like. My Fire Elemental right now isn't up, but let's pretend that I drop it. So 2 to 3 seconds before the pull, I'm going to use my Fire Elemental. I'm going to use my Potion, pre-cast that. Lava Burst, 3 Lightning Bolts. And then just do the rotation. Just do the rotation. It's so simple. This spec, because you're using Lightning Rod, can offer quite a bit of burst, especially if your Power of the Maelstrom procs off of that first Lava Burst. You can be doing some insane damage. I've reached up to 1 million damage burst, but it falls off very quickly. Very quickly, that 1 million burst damage just goes away, just because that's only from the 3 Lightning Bolt instant casts. So the burst is very high, but very short, but very nice high sustained damage. Alright, so that concludes the burst, the opening, the burst and the opening sequence video for the Elemental Shaman for patch 7.1. If you guys like my videos, hit that subscribe button, slap that like button. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You guys can check out my live stream. I'm going to put all that information down in the description below. Check out my other videos. As I said before, my 7.0.3 Elemental Shaman guides are still very viable. There's a lot of information in those that you want to check out that is still relevant. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you again soon.